All right, so you're ready to buy your first property in Hawaii, or maybe it's your second and now you're looking for an investment. I'm gonna tell you why I think it's a bad idea to buy a condo in Hawaii and specifically on Oahu. Now, before I get the gestures and the jeers, like, you're a real estate agent, Marina, why would you say this? Obviously, it's to get your attention, but there are some very big things and changes in 2024 that are kind of big warning flags and an asterisk to know if you're gonna go down this path of purchasing a condo. So to set the record straight, not all of us can afford a $1.1 million home, which is now the median single family price of a home on Hawaii. So to reference this, I understand we do need to start with condos for most of us, myself included. My first two properties were condos and I don't regret my purchase at all. However, time passes, it's more and more important that we're more frugal and purchasing below our budget than ever before because of the unknown. And that's one thing that unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball, my lenders don't have a crystal ball, we don't know what the real estate market's gonna do. And it's not even necessarily the market as a whole, it's the ancillary things outside of the market that are changing. So one of the biggest ones, and I'm just gonna bring this up right now, it's insurance issues. We know that we've had more natural disasters in the last 10 years, I think ever in history, at least for the last 100. So insurance companies across the nation, not even for our state specifically, have increased their prices, which ripple affects everybody. And a lot of our home insurance is with those nationwide companies like Allstate or Aflac or whatever. It's gonna be affecting all of us. And so as of late, specifically for my one condo that we just purchased, our insurance went up 600% in 2024. And that is a sticker shock, let alone a mental shock and an emotional shock when we start to let that factor in, right? And so why is this happening? Again, it's insurance companies are behind because of all the major disasters that are happening from hurricanes in the South and in Florida. And then we have major disasters like Lahaina, which is billions of dollars of damage that's happening. It is affecting everything. So insurance is gonna have to ramp up to cover us all in case of liability and replacement property. And that means not only is our personal homeowners insurance policy going up, our homeowners insurance policies are going up, which your homeowners association is gonna be in every single condo building. It's the governing body that helps maintain the exterior, the roof, the parking lot, any common areas, the pool, you name it. The structural integrity of your building is covered by the HOA policy. And so we've seen that. We've seen assessment after notice after notice. Unfortunately, I just had a client, first-time home buyers. They got into their dream property in Makakilo, and I kid you not, within 2 weeks of giving them their keys, they got their first notice that their HOA was doubling from $600 a month up to $1,500 a month starting in spring of 2025. Now, for someone who just bought a home, and this is already a big commitment for you, now you're finding out you have to pay $600 extra on a fixed income is a big stab in the heart. Like, I'm just saying it right now. So it's really important that when we're shopping for condos, it's not that you shouldn't buy a condo, but it's you should do it with the knowledge and the perspective of being prepared for the unknown, right? So that's having your emergency fund fully funded, whether that's 3 months of your cost of living covered or up to 6 months, which is ideal. So if crap hits the fan and you lose your job, you know you're not gonna be homeless, right? You know you're not gonna have to default on your bills. But if that happens, if your assessment comes in and you get a notice, hey, our HOA is doubling, and a lot of the times the condos in town are already $1,000. Can you imagine paying $2,000 on your HOA bill? It's a big impact to your quality of life. So we don't want that to happen. So we're gonna purchase something under budget, right? Which then takes me to the point, well, how much is a starter condo in Hawaii anyways? They are not cheap. You can't find anything in Hawaii for less than $200,000. And if you do, I'm gonna tell you right now, don't call me about it because it's a leasehold and it's not for you. Okay, I'm just gonna put that asterisk out there. If you wanna know about leasehold videos or leasehold properties, I can explain that to you in person. But basically, you don't own the property forever. It's only a fixed set of years that you're owning it, and that's why it's so cheap. But realistically, if you're looking to get into a starter condo, we're talking a studio or a one bedroom, we're looking at $300,000 to $400,000 with an additional $500 to $600 HOA fee on top of that. So if you don't have the budget for up to $400,000, I would even say, let's not shop yet. We got to increase our income, bring down our debt burden, and just get a little bit more strategic. And it probably means you won't be able to buy just yet, but we can definitely get you on the 1 year or the 2 year plan to get you there. Okay, so that's a big thing. Another reason not to buy a condo is if you just don't have the foresight to take care of it or make it into an investment property in the future. So with all of these things coming down the pipeline, and this is like the last 4 or 5 months, all this stuff has started to pop up that I'm hearing from clients and I'm dealing with it personally. If insurance keeps going up, right, that means your liability every month is going up. And now we might not be able to sell it for what the market value is if the market value won't take it at the new future price. So I'm just thinking from a future buyer's perspective, right? You bought a condo in 2024, let's say for $500,000. In 3 years, you want to buy it for, or you want to sell it for $600,000, but now your HOA is double the amount and it's $1,500 a month. Is a buyer in 2020, what is that, 7, willing to pay $600,000 and $1,500 a month in HOA? That's kind of the correction that I'm kind of seeing down the future. So if you're not able to sell it at that point, well then what do you do, right? Either you're gonna have to sell it for less and drop your price down, or you're gonna have to choose to rent it out and put on that investment hat and be able to rent it out long term and probably be in the negative, if I'm being honest, because rentals aren't gonna be able to cover your mortgage with that new HOA fee. The rental market is just much lower in Hawaii. And this is just a quick asterisk to note, Hawaii is not a cash flow state, we are an appreciation state. And when I say that, I just mean in other states like Georgia or even Texas and stuff, right? You can rent a place that's higher than your mortgage. So you're cash flowing on the profit, right? There's some fat there. Well, in Hawaii, a lot of the times our mortgages are higher than our rent. So we're negative there. And so that's the big difference. But if you can hold it long term, our properties tend to double in value every 10 to 12 years. And that's why we're called an appreciation state, because our home values are what carry us up, not necessarily the investment part of it. So the longer you hold it, the better you're gonna be, but it's just the ability to hold it, the ability to be in the negative, knowing you're gonna be okay in the long term. Okay, so a couple of big key factors there of why you might not wanna buy a condo in Hawaii. Not to say that you shouldn't ever, but if you do, I just want to make sure that you're planting those seeds and coming in prepared and educated. And of course, if you're ready to explore what that looks like, we got to start somewhere. For us personally, we can't afford the $1 million home yet. So we're buying our way there by buying condos, and eventually we'll be able to sell those all to get the big home in the future. So start small, have the delayed gratification, live below our means, and know that you'll be able to be there in the future. So every Friday, I come out with a new single video talking specifically about the real estate market, about life in Hawaii, about where to eat, all the good places that are coming up here. And I would love to hear from you guys. I will see you next week with another video. Bye.